With Coach Phil Gaffney of the GTCC Titans, off to a good start, record, only a couple of losses on the season and playing very well. And Coach Phil Gaffney with us. Coach, this team has only been together now a couple of years. You guys have had a lot of success.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate starting the program. You generally don't do too well. We started off 19-13 last year and highlighted by beating the 20th ranked team in the country. So that was wonderful for us. And this year starting off 13-2 in first place in our conference. We're real excited. We happen to get a good group of kids from North Carolina and a couple kids from outside, a kid from Delaware, Virginia, really helping us. And they've come together very nicely and work as a group. So we're glad that we've had the success we've had so far.
And you're telling us you got a big game coming up this weekend.
Aiken Tech is very good. They represented us in the national tournament last year. In fact, Midland, Texas won the national tournament, and Aiken gave them their best game last year. So they're very, very talented. Usually have several kids go Division I, Division II off their team. And we're both the two undefeated teams at the conference right now. So whoever wins will have a leg up in a conference play.
And we hear about your team, where you play in the games, where these games played.
The Ragsdale YMCA is right on our campus at GTCC in Jamestown. So we play our games in the Ragsdale YMCA right on our campus. It has two beautiful college courts. You just have to go in through the front door just like you're a Y member.
What is it like to build a team like this from scratch? I've been reading more about your GTCC Foundation. Got a new baseball team starting up just this year. What is it like to come in and build from scratch?
It's fun. One of the reasons I took the job is because I knew as being the athletic director, we'd get to add programs. We're going to try to add a program every year. Women's basketball will probably be the next one. We'll decide that this week, actually. And our baseball team will start playing over across the street at Ragsdale High School next month. So it's been fun, and kind of when you build it from scratch, it's like your baby. You're doing it. You're not inheriting it from somebody else. You're doing it on your own. It makes it that much more gratifying.
Do you try to get most of the AD work done before basketball season kicks in, so you've got time to focus a lot on basketball, which is probably your passion, probably your love, but you've got to do a lot of things with a new program?
Yeah, good Lord, you hit it right on the head. I teach 5 phys ed classes, so I'm a full-time phys ed teacher, and then on top of that, you do the AD work and add in the programs and the budgetary concerns that we have, and then coaching, what you just said, is my passion, what I love to do. I enjoy all three, but coaching is the passion, and you try to get everything out of the way so when you go to practice, you can just concentrate on that and concentrate on recruiting, but it's very difficult.
To hear the job responsibility, it almost sounds like you're at the high school level in some ways, all the things you're doing.
It is. It's even worse because with the recruiting and the scouting and not only are we recruiting kids, but we have the four-year schools recruiting our players. So we're out recruiting, and then I'm getting phone calls at dinner time about our 2 recruitable sophomores. So it really makes for a very long day.
And I see one of your assistant coaches on the road quite a bit, John Patty, if I'm not mistaken. See John out and about recruiting for you, too. And I'm sure he's also making contact with the larger schools to try to get your guys placed.
Absolutely. In fact, John was an assistant coach. I was talking with Coach Agee today at UNCG for many years, an assistant. He coached at Dudley, he coached at Page, so he has very good, strong ties to the community. Very fortunate to have him, an older assistant, a lot of experience. The kids, he relates very well to the kids, and you're right, he's out there recruiting, beating the bushes, and he knows a lot of the four-year schools, and so he does get out and talk to them on behalf of our kids.
With us, Coach Phil Gaffney, GTCC Titans, Guilford Technical Community College. Big game coming up this weekend. Coach, take us back. How did you end up in Jamestown with GTCC?
Well, I've got a real long, storied background, but the way it real boils down to is I was at a junior college in New York, and my wife got ill, and they said, you need to get to a warmer weather place for her. So we didn't want to go all the way to Florida, and when this job opened up, there were several other jobs I interviewed for, but this is the one that really got my eye because of what we said previously. Chance to build your own program, start your own program. So you live with it or you die with it. If it works out really well, you've done a good job. If you didn't, well, you have no one to blame it on. It's your baby, and so I thought that was a fun challenge and something I'd be interested in doing, so that's why we got down here.
Do you think the GTCC will ever have football one day? Is that too much to ask of as far as the financial constraints?
It's funny because I get a call once a week from people saying, oh, is GTCC adding football? I don't see it in the near future. Facility-wise, you have to have some place to play and some place to practice, and we'd have to figure that out. And with the insurance, and again, we're a Division I school, and scholarships, we don't have as much money as a lot of the other schools. We just went to Florida. We play teams that have 13 full scholarships. We don't even have 1 full scholarship for men's basketball. So we're really playing at a disadvantage, and adding women's basketball next year, if that's what we do, is going to be very difficult. And if you had football and the amount of scholarships you'd have to give out and the insurance, it'd be tough. So in the short term, I would say no. In the long term, definitely on the radar because so many people have been calling about it.
Yeah, I guess you got Ragsdale right next door. You could take half of their team and bring them over if those guys were interested in use them.
Absolutely. We would love, if we ever did football, it would definitely be local recruiting would be huge what we would do. And because of the lack of scholarship money, there'd be all local kids who give them an opportunity to play.
Fell into it a while back reading a website out of Charlotte, and they were talking about this North Carolina Tech. Have you ever heard of them? They've got like a football program down in Charlotte, which plays a lot of big schools, and sometimes they come together because somebody made a major donation, a foundation donation of some sort, and they break. But sometimes those don't last. I don't know if you'd heard of those guys before or not.
I haven't, but it's on the junior college level, the football is really spread out. I know there's a lot in the Northeast. I think in the Southwest. If we've even looked into it, what kind of schedule we'd play, and we'd have to play some of the JV teams, and there'd be a lot of travel involved. Although in a football season, there's not that many games, so your travel really is not. You don't have to travel a lot, but we'd have to travel very far away to play.
What about your baseball team? When do they start things up?
They played fall ball. We're 13-4 in the fall, which of course is scrimmage games, against Greensboro, Guilford. They played several of the junior colleges in the area. We hired a guy named John Barrow who started the program at Rockingham Community College and took them to the regional final in his second year there. So he has the experience of starting a program. He's not daunted by it. He's excited about that challenge. And they'll start in the end of February playing their games. And very, very good team. They should be very solid this year.
I understand loaded with quite a few local kids too, right?
They are. In fact, I think before we've even played a game, three of them signed to all play Division II. So several kids from Glen, Ragsdale. He has kids from all over the area. In fact, he's really concentrated where I concentrated in the state. I have kids around the state, not as many from the Greensboro, High Point area. His team is almost entirely from the Greensboro, High Point area.
One more time, Coach Phil Gaffney, GTCC Titans basketball coach, athletic director. Remind us again about the game coming up on Saturday.
Playing Aiken Tech, 7 o'clock, the Ragsdale YMCA on Friday. Love to have everybody there.
Coach, good luck to you. Keep up the good work, and look forward to seeing how that program grows.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.